Hey gifties! Welcome to another episode of What a Gift, the podcast where we're trying to go from detached to spiritually snatched. Shout out to Gifty Jenna Reed for sending in that amazing opening tagline. Sarah, what are we getting into today?
Today we're taking a deep dive into one of our personal favorite genres of life, pop culture. So both of our gifts have to do with that. We're gonna get into monoculture and TV shows.
Ooh,
if you don't know what
good.
monoculture is, neither do I, but we'll learn together.
I feel like my gift always needs like 10 footnotes and an explanation.
Every episode I feel like I'm like, what vocabulary am I going to learn from Jule today? All that reading and homeschool I've really paid off. But how are you, Jule? How do you come to the podcast today?
I'm doing well. I come with a bit of a bruised ego because yesterday I took a bunch of my clothes to Buffalo Exchange. Have you been to Buffalo Exchange?
I have not. I've been, I think, to somewhere similar.
Okay, yeah. It's like,
yeah.
For those who don't know, it's like a consignment store, I would say, like where you can bring your gently used, gently loved clothes and a very jaded, mean hipster picks through your pile of clothes and looks with disgust at everything you brought. And then if they want to keep some of your clothing items, they like put tags on them, and then you get like $1 for your clothes. And at the end, like after they go through everything and they tag the things they want, they're like, okay, you can get $68 store credit or $13 cash. Like the difference between the store credit and the cash is always crazy.
That is crazy.
So I had such high hopes. I had like bags of clothes that I was like, it's time, closet clean out. And a lot of it was like,
was it in trash bags?
Not used, barely. No, I had it in like cute little totes. And some of it was like things I got when I was engaged. I was like, maybe I'll wear this white thing. And I never wore like, so some of it was literally never worn. A couple things had tags because I missed the return window. Like I was like, I'm about to make a fortune at Buffalo Exchange. And the young hipster who, I feel like people don't even say hipster anymore, but he was wearing a beanie and really cool glasses and amazing tattoos, and he was better than me in every way. But he was going through my totes and would like hold up each article of clothing and like look at it and sigh and just like slide it back into the bag. Like, and it was so vulnerable. It was so vulnerable. And then, okay, what was crazy was the things he chose to keep. I was like, this is a mind game actually, because one of the items was, I don't even know how I came to own this. Like the most hideous dress that looked like it was made of like bubbles. Like it was so ugly. And he picked it up and he was like, and kept it and put a tag on it. Anyway, he ended up keeping literally like 5 things. And he was like, okay, you can have $11 cash or $30 store credit. And I was like, I'll take the cash. I'm like on the verge of tears. And it's like an area that's hard to park, and Chris was like waiting outside in the car, and I came out and he's like, why do you still have all your stuff? I was like, just drive. So it was honestly truly a humiliation ritual, and I thought I was gonna come out of it with spending money, and instead I came out of it like I need to redo my own personal style. So
I think the worst part about those experiences is then you like peruse the aisles and it's like, how did this get here?
Right. Why would I want store credit for
trash?
Yeah, exactly. So
it was your bubble dress back.
It was really hard.
Sorry that happened to you.
Thank you. What about you? How have things been?
Things have been good. I live with the greatest gals, and we have been in the business of backyard dinner parties as of late.
Ooh.
And even with the cooler weather, like we just tell people to bring a coat and maybe a blanket, and I mean a whole tablescape of like tapered candles lit and pillar candles, and we got those little like touch battery operated like Amazon lights or whatever. And we'll make whatever, like a cozy pasta bake, or we did like a fancy dinner for my roommate's birthday and stuff. And anyways, it's like any occasion, make it extra. Why not?
I feel like those dinner parties are like trending at the moment.
It's so fun.
Did you make like little menus and stuff, or not?
She did for her birthday. We didn't do that for the pasta bake because it was the only thing on the menu, and that was like, it was like on the invite, like that was what we were having.
Oh, nice.
But I did get a little crazy the day before, and I asked my roommate, I was like, is there a dessert coming? I was like, can I make pumpkin rolls or like Swiss rolls? And she's like, yeah. So I made from scratch like a pumpkin roll, and then a chocolate pumpkin roll and stuff, and it was I felt like the most powerful person in the world walking out through my back porch, like into the grass, like with this like cake plate with 2 rolls.
Wow.
Everyone was
like an actual Swiss roll. Like
yeah, it's like
sponge.
like
those
a thin
hard.
sponge with like the stuff in it. And you roll it up. Yeah, and I walk out and everyone's like, "Oh my gosh!" Like all eyes are on me.
I've never made a Swiss roll, but I've seen multiple people have meltdowns on the Great British Bake Off trying to roll theirs. So that is really impressive.
Yeah,
wow,
it was
that's
a showstopper
so
for sure. It has been so fun, and I think even just being able to like kind of treat your friends to like this elevated, like it's more than just like come over for dinner. It's like we're gonna sit out here for a while, we're gonna like enjoy this ambiance and stuff. It's like I feel like they just feel honored, like they come out, they're like, oh my gosh, like whoa, I did not expect this. And it's kind of like really almost
a mini version of like when you get to a wedding and you're like, wow, like all this attention to detail and stuff. And like I think in the future we should definitely do like a gift on dinner parties or hosting or something, because like it's so special when you can put something like that together. I feel like the outdoor part, I like, have you had windy nights where like I feel like I'm picturing like us holding down the tablecloth, tapered candles like blowing out, me being like, I don't know, like it sounds hard.
Really blessed, I think. Not really wind, but it has kind of like at Courtney's birthday, it like sprinkled, and all the girls, and we're dressed nice, like it was like pretty much cocktail for Courtney's birthday, and we had like linen napkins, and you just looked on the table and it was like you could tell everyone was thinking, are we gonna go inside or are we gonna stick it out? And then people just like take their napkin and like whoop, and just like we all had it like just sat on our heads to protect our hair.
Oh my gosh, I would have been the person who's like, I'm just gonna be in the
well, it was just like it was like that sunny, it's like still sunny on, it's like sprinkling, so we were like, oh yeah, it's not gonna downpour, we just were waiting for it to pass. And then I went to my friend Rachel's house, and there was just like 4 or 5 of us, and we just like she calls it harvest dinner. They have like a garden in their backyard that she's really proud of, and so when they pick things from the garden, they'll invite people over for a harvest meal.
Wow, I love that.
It's so funny because sometimes it's like 5 cherry tomatoes that she's harvested, but we have a whole meal in celebration. But this one was like quite a bit of stuff that she had harvested. And anyways, but it was fun. It was just like, throw a tablecloth out there, let's get out there. And and that time it did rain hard, and we were like just grabbing stuff and running inside. But
I feel like for that kind of meal, doing something like a bake or something you can throw in the oven is crucial, because I will have such high aspirations. Like I love hosting, I love having a brunch or different things, and there have been many times where like by the time people arrive, I'm like sweating, frazzled, upset. Like I have literally too many irons in the fire, like trying to make everything. So I feel like when it's something that you can just like pop in the oven, that's so true. Yeah, that's ideal.
Yeah. So I'm doing great, loving the dinner parties, loving the roomies and getting friends together. It's great, super fun. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. Okay, it's time. Jule, I think you should go first today. What gift are you unwrapping?
Okay. This week I'm unwrapping the gift of monoculture. Okay.
Okay.
Stick with me. So, I mean, if literally right now, if you Google like what is monoculture, you'll get like an anthropological definition of like when one society homogenizes, like, but I'm talking more in the pop culture landscape. Monoculture is kind of when people of all walks of life, when it feels like everyone in your country or state or land like is tuned into one thing or like cares about one thing, especially in the pop culture landscape. So there was a time where monoculture was like much more common because everyone was watching network TV. There weren't a million streamers. You didn't have like an algorithm that was tailored specifically to you and your interests. So people all knew like Friends is ending tonight, you know, or Kelly Clarkson is the American Idol, you know, like there were these like things where we were tuning into things, these eras of that, and now it has become much more rare, but I think it still exists. Okay. And I love when monocultural moments occur because I think there's this feeling of like being one with the global community, like besides like aside from all your differences and different tastes and stuff. So do you feel like you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Yeah. Even something like, this is the dumbest example, and I know we're talking about pop culture, but like when there's an eclipse or something like that, where it's like everyone for a day or two, everyone is like tweeting about the eclipse, posting themselves in their eclipse sunglasses, like, and you're like, wow, like I'm looking at the same moon with everybody. Like, I don't know, there's just like, I love that kind of like unifying moment. But I don't think it, pop culturally, I still don't think it happens like where everyone is tuned into something. Like, for example, Taylor Swift's most recent album, like suddenly you're like walking down the street and like your neighborhood bagel shop is like the life of a dough girl, and you're like, geez, I guess everyone knows about this album. Like, but even though that like felt like people were all talking about it, I still don't think it reaches every corner the way it used to.
I was just thinking even like the World Series, like I feel like we were watching Game 7, but then like the Huskers were also playing, and so probably all of Nebraska was watching that, and like I don't know, people are like, oh, it's the Dodgers, oh, it's Canada, you know, it's like it doesn't have the same like
I think like the Super Bowl still like when everyone chimes in on the halftime show, that's like a ritual where it's like, okay, we're all talking about one thing. And I feel like those moments are, especially when it's around something silly, like those are moments to be cherished, because otherwise our monoculture moments are like this global crisis has occurred, you know, like, and we have enough of those where we're all coming together of like the apocalypse has begun, like but when it can be like, did everyone see the Coldplay concert clip or whatever? Like,
forgot about that.
There is something. It's kind of like water cooler. Fodder sort of. So yeah, like, can you think of like the eclipse to me actually is a recent one where I was like, wow, me and everyone are looking at the eclipse. Can you think of ones from growing up or times where you were like tuned into a bigger pop culture moment?
I feel like, for our family, it was often like shows coming on. I remember like in college, it was like everyone would be gathering to watch The Office or like The Bachelor, or like there would be watch parties for certain things. It'd be like a lot of TV shows.
I went to like my friend Victor in high school, we all went to his house and watched the series finale of Lost, and it felt like appointment television, like something, I don't know, it just was fun.
Well, if you missed it, like you'd have to wait for it to come out on DVD, like there would be no reruns or whatever. And the TV guide would come in the mail. Be like, whoa, okay.
Even with like Stranger Things ending, I feel like that was one that really lasted a long time, where it felt like a lot of people know it, and like people are making their Stranger Things themed snacks, and like you know, like having these moments to watch together. I feel like that one currently reminds me of those old like TV series like finale type things.
That's true. I feel like the ones that come to mind the most are like holidays kind of thing. Like even now it's like okay, and everyone's Instagram pictures are gonna be Halloween costumes or Easter bunnies or church pics
for sure,
whatever,
for sure. And I think actually like that's why people cling to holidays with such a feverish,
that could be true,
intensity, is because like there's just something, you want to feel part of a community. Like I feel like even, I don't know, so many of the gifts I bring up, I'm like just trying to like connect with other people, but like I think that is what life is about. And like just even walking down, like I live in a neighborhood that has a lot of like row houses really close together, and they really decorate for holidays, and there's this feeling of like the neighborhood is preparing for Easter or Halloween or Valentine's Day, like, and I don't know, you kind of are reminded like, oh, I'm not just walking in front of a facade, like a family lives in there, someone who likes things I like lives in there, you know. I think true, it is like it's really sweet. I don't know,
that is really nice. I did just think of one from my childhood when Princess Diana tragically passed away. We were living in England, and I remember like coming downstairs, and my mom was
That's
like crying in
crazy.
front
You
of
were
the
living in
TV.
England.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And my mom's like crying in front of the TV. I'm like, what happened? She's like, Princess Diana died.
Oh
And I was
my
like, oh my gosh. And it
gosh.
was like, yeah, defined.
I cannot believe you were in England for that.
Yeah.
That's like you could use that for like 2 truths and a lie or something. That's just pretty cool.
I'll one up that. She waved at me one time. Princess Diana.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's actually amazing. What was she wearing?
She was wearing like a pink suit with a pink hat, and she had come out of I think she was at either Buckingham Palace or Windsor Castle, and she was coming out to get into a helicopter, and there's like this gate around the perimeter and like next to a park, and so we like stopped and waved, and she waved back, and then she got in the helicopter and flew away.
That's crazy. That's a claim to fame for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like
The royal wedding.
yes.
That was crazy.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, I think like especially any positive moments of monoculture are to be cherished because, yeah, like I said, I mean, I'm sure, like, not to get dark, but like 9/11 was a clearly negative, sad moment where the whole culture snapped into like one experience. And I think we can remember all of those like types of things, but the ones where it feels like everybody's talking about one silly thing or even in like your city, if your team makes it into the World Series or the Super Bowl and it feels like suddenly you're pumping gas and they're like, go birds, you know, like and you're just like, yeah, like, I don't know. I love stuff like that. And yeah, I think even like smaller communities arise, like, but like, for example, I think we both got into Dancing with the Stars in the most recent season. Something truly, I don't know if that's a recession indicator or a aging indicator or what, but suddenly I was like, I'm locking in to these ballroom dancers. But like, that's a smaller community, but I love those things where you're like, oh, like strangers are having the same experience and we're all rooting for something. Totally. I live for that. It's electric.
It really is. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Yeah, I love being unified with people and sharing a common human experience, whether it's a show.
And it's just sad, like, how fractured everything is now, where, like, people's individual feeds are completely, like, I might think something is viral that, like, you have never seen in your life, or, like, or you might want your friend or loved one to watch the same thing as you, and they're like, well, I don't have that streamer and now I need your password. No, it's locked me out. And like, you know, it's like, it's actually becoming harder and harder to just all like absorb one thing together. But then I think like as pop culture becomes more fractured, like we can then cling to the like more in-person monoculture moments of like, what's going on in my city or my like
to this year. I feel like this last year, I feel like the most popular Halloween costume was the Louvre robbers. It was like, I feel like
I thought I was being so creative, being like, I'm gonna dress up like the guy who robbed the Louvre, and I like open Instagram. I was like, me and everyone else.
I was like, in America. At every party there was at least one person, you know. But it's that's. But that, what you're talking to, it's like, we all are aware. We all have laughed. Like, okay, we're just dressing up as construction workers. It's right, that, like Ocean's 11, you guys made it way too complicated. Yeah. You can just pretend to be working here.
Yeah, those moments that break through and it feels like everybody knows about it are truly, it's just fun. It's just like, fun. I think it's such a fun human thing.
Yeah. Couldn't agree more.
So
that is a gift.
Culture. Yeah. What a gift.
Well, we've already kind of bled gifts here. Bled into the other gift?
Yeah, sure. There's overlap for sure.
Yeah. So my gift is TV shows, and you've mentioned a few of them that I wanted to talk about, but my family was a big season 1 American Idol family. I will never forget watching those extremely embarrassing auditions. Like the first few weeks, you're just like, who told them they could sing?
How did they get those people to like audition? Some of them are so insane. I still watch some of the old clips.
Their mom is just like outside the door like, I hope they make it. And I'm like, do you? Like, that's crazy. A mother's love, I guess. Yeah. It's crazy. But yeah, I remember watching every week with my family, and we still have landlines in our houses, and like you had to dial in, and you'd get, I don't even think it would go through every time. Like, sometimes
oh my gosh,
you would be busy.
Vote from a landline?
Yes, from the phone. You had to call in and place a vote for someone.
I did not
and everyone had
realize
different
that.
phone numbers, I think. Like, it was wild. But
whoa,
that was back in the day cafe. That like season 1 of Survivor and and like when those reality competition shows really started like taking over after like Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy.
I love
like, it was crazy.
A reality competition show more so like I don't really like reality shows that are like women fighting holding purses like or whatever, but I like the ones that
Bad Girls
are
Club.
a game like you know like even Traders or
Traders
even
good.
like Dancing with the Stars competition or the Great British Bake Off. Do you watch Bake Off?
The first time I ever watched was with you at New Staff Training.
Oh my god,
Focus. We like went into a lounge and you're like, you have to watch this show. I like, and it was like Baked Alaska Gate. Do you remember that?
Yes.
I will never forget. Sometimes I still tell people about Baked Alaska Gate.
It was a huge moment for the
crazy.
show.
And then you would always pull up a tweet or something from the show being like, she is unwell, like she's like she won't be here this week, she's sick, and then it's like she never comes back.
Oh yeah.
Anyways, crazy. So anyways, I think they're a gift because kind of like what you're talking about, they unify people, whatever, and we've talked about this a little bit before, but when you find something that you like, you just want to share it with other people and share in that. And so I feel like shows are a gift not only because they're entertaining, but because they like can bring people closer together. They can like inspire you, teach you, whatever. Like totally. I feel like I go through phases of kind of what TV shows I'm watching, whether it's competition stuff or reality shows or like sitcoms or whatever. So
yeah, when it comes to like scripted TV, what are some of your top shows of all time?
Of all time, I guess ones that I always go back to would be like Friends, which is controversial. And I think some of those though that like I would watch now and I'd be like, okay, I guess they really are just always talking about sex. Like I don't know. I don't know if it's because I watched it when I was younger and I didn't pick up on some of the jokes and stuff that I was like, it just has this nostalgia about it or something.
Right.
Like if I watched it now, I don't know if I'd be into it, but but yeah, it's kind of like that comfort kind of show.
Yeah.
I always go back to Golden Girls.
I've never seen an episode of Golden Girls.
It's so funny.
Really?
Yeah. There's got to be more. I don't know.
Yeah. I've never seen Golden Girls, but I do remember there was like when we were little, I would watch like I Love Lucy and the Three Stooges and like old TV shows and got such a kick out of them. I like loved I Love Lucy. But I feel like then I was with the Office, Parks and Rec era, which now like we don't have to get into it, but I feel like The Office was so funny and good, but the Office culture that then like suddenly you're on the dating apps and every single like weird guy is quoting something from The Office, or people like made it their fear how much people made it their whole personality. Like because The Office was funny, they're like, well, if I like The Office, I must be funny, and you're like, no, babe. Why do you have a Dwight Schrute t-shirt? You're 35 years old, but so I do think Office, the culture around The Office got out of hand. Yeah, but like I loved The Office, Parks and Rec. Do you watch Gilmore Girls?
Okay, so this is kind of one, like I'm on the opposite end of the Friends thing. Like my roommates love it, and I've been trying to watch it, and because it premiered on like October 3rd or 4th. Sorry, I forgot, but they restart it on that day every year. And
your friends,
my roommates, and so they like rewatch it. From
it's
the
definitely
beginning.
Like a fall watch,
yeah. And so, anyways, I started watching it and. It's okay. Like I don't know. I know
some shows like if you don't have the relationship with it and then you watch it now in the 21st century, like you're like, what are they? It's even like I have a friend who loves Dawson's Creek, and I just missed the boat on that. Like I watch it now, I'm like, was this filmed 6 centuries ago? Like what is happening? And Gilmore Girls, I do think you had to like
be living it
get
with
on
them
it
or something
at a certain time when it wasn't like, because now sometimes the way they talk is like kind of cringy if you're coming into it.
Well, it's just like so fast. Sometimes it's hard for me to binge the show because it's like the dialogue is so fast, and they're like, yeah, we love it because then you hear something new every time, and I'm like, sure, but I can't keep up, and like I can't just watch a million episodes or like have it on the background because you miss too much then. So, anyways.
Well, I feel like I love Gilmore Girls. I watched it. I remember watching it after school with Anna. Like, during high school, and I just like truly loving it so much. And so I've had a long relationship with it, but I think it's of a time where they were still making TV shows with long seasons and long episodes about nothing. Like where it's like not plot driven at all, and it was like escaping to a world where it's like, okay, now I'm in this neighborhood and I'm with these like in this family, or I'm getting to know these quirky characters, like and now television is so like prestige that it's like, okay, we have 8 episodes that we worked 6 years on, so like, true, and there's so much space between seasons, and like, and there,
and even some of them should be a movie.
right, like, right, and it's very like plot driven, or they're trying to create these like viral moments, or they're trying to make a star out of so and so, and it's like less about just like hanging with these characters for a little while. Like, so
what are your top ones now?
Okay, we got really into Severance.
Okay, yeah.
I'm like, are they gonna land the plane on Severance? Because as someone who was burned by Lost, I'm like, okay, there's a lot of threads they're gonna need to tie together here.
Severance for me is like, I was in it, but I this last season, I don't know, I'm like, I think they're losing me. I feel so stupid watching Severance. I'm like, what is going on? There are
episodes where I'm like, I really hope this comes back around.
I walk away with way more new questions than old questions answered. Plus, those are still unanswered. I'm like, what is going on? And tell me something. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
And then I go on Instagram or TikTok or something, and it's like all these theories, and then in like 3 episodes those are true, and I'm like, how did you guys think of that?
I know. It's crazy. I know. I feel like with a show like Severance, you kind of just have to let it wash over you, and then like trust that they're gonna take you where
enter into the monoculture and just trust.
Right. My favorite character is Mr. Milchick. I love him. So we got into Severance like with the Stranger Things coming to an end. We rewatched.
I just watched it for the first time, and I am so into it.
Oh, really? Yeah. That's kind of lucky, because there was so much time between seasons that like like we were rewatching, and I was like, I suddenly felt like my dad when we would like watch a movie that I knew he had seen.
Oh yeah.
And he'd be like, have zero memory. It was like he was watching it for the first time. You know, like you and your parents do that, where they're like, what's gonna happen next? You're like, we watch this every year. Like, and I started feeling that way with Stranger Things, where I was like, I've watched this and I have no idea what's gonna happen next. And also Stranger Things is scary. It was scary, legit scared. But that was like fun to rewatch. I do think like a nice cozy rewatch of a show is fun. I'm trying to think what other current shows. I mean, I think a lot of current TV is bad and bad for you.
Yeah. And bad for you for sure.
And I don't know, like sometimes I'm just like I watched like one episode of that show, Your Friends and Neighbors. I don't know if you heard of it. With like John Hamm, and I was like, did an AI chatbot write this? Like the dialogue, everything. I was like, real people don't talk like this. I don't know. Like there's certain TV shows that come out now where I'm like, we are losing the thread. You know, like so.
One that is super good is Abbott Elementary. I don't know if
you've given it a takes place in Philadelphia.
Yes, of course. I think it's so funny.
It is, so
and I think
funny.
It's getting funnier. Like the 4th season. Now they're on the 5th season. But last season I laughed out loud multiple times every episode. Like it's so clever. The one-liners are so good.
It is really funny. Yeah. Who do you identify with the most in Abbott Elementary?
Probably Barb, but Ava, the principal, is my favorite.
Ava is my
she's so funny.
North Star and life coach. I love Ava.
I can see that. All of them in different ways, probably, but yeah. When they dress up, my favorite part, and I just have to tell you because I think it's so funny, is the 100th day of school episode when all the kids dress up like old people. And one of them comes in and Barbara's like, and you look great. And she's like, I'm you. And she goes, you who? She's like, because you're 100. And oh my gosh, this is so funny. I love that they use the kids.
Yeah.
And it's just as kind of like a mindless watch. And like, you know, you're going to smile and laugh and have a good time. It's 20 minutes. So it's nice. But anyways, I talk about that all the time. Do you have any like mini series or like those 8-episode standalone things that you watch?
Well, it goes without saying, my number one is the BBC Pride and Prejudice.
Of course, yeah.
Starring Colin Firth, Jennifer Eel. Illy. It's so, I mean, literally 2 weeks ago, I was like, checked my watch. I was like, it is time for me to have my yearly viewing of the 6-hour Pride and Prejudice. And somehow this watch party turned into, it was me, my brother, Rocco, my friend Sean, my friend Anish. It was all guys and me. And TJ had never seen it before. And it was the most fun night ever. We were like screaming, laughing, watching Pride and Prejudice. They didn't know who was going to end up with who. I was like, it was actually so much fun.
That is fun.
I think that is an evergreen classic.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think a famous miniseries that I was forced to watch every Lent was Franco Zeffirelli's Jesus of Nazareth, which I actually love, and I made Chris watch when we got engaged. But I'm trying to think of other like standalone minis. What about you?
Band of Brothers is
I just watched that.
What did you think?
I had never seen it. Chris loves like World War II culture. He does. Like he'll love, like he likes books and shows and movies surrounding World War II. And it was hard to watch. Like it's pretty violent. And I just like, there was this moment where we were watching and I was like, how are they doing this? Like I can't, like I just would give up. Like why would anybody keep fighting? Like it just seems so hard. And Chris was like, well, because they're like fighting for something bigger than them. And like he like had such, and I was like, I would crawl into a hole and go home and I would be too scared.
How many women did you see in that?
But I don't know, like you could see like it really revved him up and like meant so much to him. But I was like watching through my fingers as people's legs are getting blown off. Like it was so intense.
Yeah, it is intense. I love that series. I would watch it every year with my dad. And so I've just kind of continued that on my own. But yeah, I love it. I mean, like, talk about inspirational. I mean, it's just crazy. It's like, yeah, they like are laying down their lives for each other, for their families. Like, it taught me so much about leadership and like brotherhood, and I don't know, just awesome.
And like, just the idea that like, I don't know, watching that specifically, you realize like, oh my gosh, all these people who had like dreams for their life and like who, you know, like instead of them being like, well, what's my story and all this and what's my plotline, like, which is my chronic illness, is like I'm the main character, why would I go get blown up, like, you know, like, and there is this selfless thing of like, they're all just like good versus evil, let's go, you know, like
I feel like shows like that or movies like that often they like restore like my faith in humanity of like, like these crazy headlines are happening and these world events, like everyone wants us to live in fear, I feel like, all the time. And this is like a story of like what could happen if you don't buy into that, you know, if you're like, okay, well, we're gonna actively fight against it, and like how can I do that in my mind or in my community of like like it, like we can still fight for the good, like for sure. And like I just started rewatching Lord of the Rings recently because I was like, it's either that or Harry Potter. I'll wait for Harry Potter for Christmas.
We need to do a whole Lord of the Rings episode. I am a Lord of the Rings freak. I love Lord of the Rings.
But I just feel like, there's still iconic rewatches like that are available too. That's like, you don't have to give in to like the Severances of the time. You know, it's like there's still like these things that like can actually inspire greatness in us. And I think that like I'm of the opinion that like there's great media out there, there's great shows, and there's, you know, and we should watch it and we should tell people about it. Yeah.
Well, I think you're touching on something really important. Like it might seem like on the surface, it's like, okay, they're talking about monoculture and TV shows. Like this is not profound at all. But actually like what you're saying of our culture, like what we were just talking about, is so fractured and everything is so divided. Like, and everyone wants you to fear your neighbor, assume the worst, assume that this person who thinks differently than you must have all these other opinions, you know, like I don't know, or you see like I think that there's so much fear and division. And even like I think a benefit of television shows, like they can show you, like we tried to get into watching The Wire, but it's intense. I couldn't make it, but we watched season 1 and like it's about poor people in Baltimore and the police force there and the drug trade and like a life kind of I would never have a peek behind the curtain of, and I'm watching it and like I think it does awaken like empathy and awareness for someone experiencing something totally different, or it can awaken a desire for greatness, or even just the fact that knowing that someone in the house 2 doors down from me as I'm walking by is watching Abbott Elementary, like there is like a, you know, I don't know, I think that it might seem like pop culture can seem frivolous, but I think it can also be such a bridge among people and like a thing to unify over that's like funny or sad or joyful, or, you know, like, or and just very human. So in that way, I think it actually can be like deeply profound and uniting. But at the same time, I'm also a big proponent of like touch grass, like where it's so easy to, especially like in the colder months when it's dark out, to be like, and work is done and now I will watch 9 hours of TV before softly slipping into a coma. Like, and so I do think like everything in moderation, but I think the like using pop culture and art and TV as like a doorway into like how other humans live and act, and like using it as a springboard for relationship, I think is like so awesome.
Amen, sister.
Yeah.
Wow. Gifts on gifts.
It's fun when they
it's fun when our gifts unite like that.
It is fun.
Okay, it's time for a closing segment.
Yes. Gifties for our closing segment today. It's White Elephant.
The jar
it's time to go to the jar.
Here.
So this is a segment where we rattle through some maybe pop culture elements, some cultural phenomenons, some random objects or experiences. And we give our reaction of whether we want to receive, return, or re-gift. Okay.
The item. Yeah. Wow, that was good.
Let's see what the jar has for us. Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah.
I pulled out a little bunch here. Okay. Item number 1, silver jewelry.
Okay, I think it's trending again. I can wear both. Remember, I got my colors done, gifties. I can wear silver or gold. I tend towards gold, but I could receive silver.
Okay, I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I historically have returned it. I feel like I always wear gold, but I think silver jewelry looks so cool. And I don't want to get my colors done because I'm worried I won't like the answer and I'll just reject it and have wasted money. But if someone wants to just using their street smarts, DM me and tell me what my colors are, because I don't know like what metal I should wear or what colors work. But I agree. I think mixed metal is actually on the rise, but I think silver is like the cool girl.
It is, yeah.
Jewelry, and I wish I
was cool.
Wore it. I wish it was cool. Okay, Settlers of Catan.
Return. I don't have to think or blink twice about it. I cannot stand it. I think it brings out the worst in people. I have seen virtuous people gifties flip a table because of Catan. I have also seen violence. I cannot. It's stupid.
I've played one time, so it's funny, when I played the one time, I remember thinking like I could get into this, but I won't. I was like. I will close the door on this because I have seen violence in my household.
I don't like it.
Yeah, I think I'll re-gift it, but okay.
You're nicer than me.
Okay, live action remakes.
Ooh, I don't know. It's a huge.
So like, especially I feel like the Disney.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it's a swift return.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't need live action. Lion King, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin. We don't need it.
Okay, I don't. Yeah, some of them are good, some of them aren't. I don't know. It depends on the one. I haven't seen one. I guess they would maybe probably more trend towards. I don't like them, but
what's one you like?
Well, I actually did like Cinderella, and I did like Lion King, and I liked Jungle Book.
Whoa.
Take that for what it's worth.
Dead silence. I haven't seen Jungle Book, so I don't know. Okay, I haven't seen Lion King either. I just feel against. I'm like, If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Well, what's weird about them is it's pretty much the same script, except when they drastically change it. Like Aladdin, don't get me started. But with like, some of them that were kind of copy paste, just with like cool new animation or real people. I'm like, I can like that.
Okay, half of the fun of these stories is like the random talking funny pet. Like, so why would I want to watch Mulan without Mushu? Like, I wouldn't. Yeah. Okay, martinis.
Return.
Really?
Yeah.
Of all kinds?
Well, I don't like olives, and I think vermouth is in that, right? It's like too bitter or something for me. Or like, I don't know. Don't like it.
That's fair. I receive with my whole heart.
Classy.
I love a dirty martini. I love a gin martini. I love an espresso martini. Me and the rest of America, but not the creamy kind. The just the espresso kind. But But one thing I will say is I return the the classic martini glass. The I have I am the queen of spilling, and I have such a hard time and like trying to take a sip out of that. Okay. The boo-boos.
Return. Move on.
Literally, not only do I return, I renounce in the name of Jesus, whatever demonic little troll that is hanging off of your purse. Why are they so expensive? Why do they have spiky teeth? They're so scary and weird. However, literally all it would take is one person giving me one, and I'd be like, oh, I love it.
Jule, stand your ground.
But I actually think we have not seen a sinister presence in our homes like the Labubu since the Furby.
Yeah.
And there is something similar. They're from the same hairy little freak family where you're like, this thing is gonna come alive at night and
the Furbies did
smother me with a pillow. Okay. What do you think? 2 more?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. FaceTimes.
Yeah, receive.
Really?
For sure, yeah. Every time I call you, I'm like, oh, she's never going to answer FaceTime. I'll just have to call.
I think FaceTimes are like akin to a home invasion. I'm like, why do you think you should have access to like what's happening?
Well, because I want to hang out with you.
I know, but even that, like, okay, like if I'm in a long convo, I want to relax, like,
okay,
and like, I don't want to have my arm like perched holding it. And then I end up looking at myself and being like, oh my gosh, like I'm aging and my bag's under my eyes. Like I struggle. So I return. Let's see. What should our last one be? Okay, the sourdough craze.
I'll receive if I'm eating what someone else has made. To have to keep a starter alive, to have to like my friend Barrett brought her dough to the office a couple weeks ago.
The starter?
The whole thing. Dough. She's like doing the stretch and folds and stuff like during the day, and then it stayed here overnight, and now she's like, why don't we have an oven at the office? Like, what am I supposed to do with these loaves? And I'm like, it's like...
That's not...
It's like having a pet.
That's not for the
or
office.
A child. I don't know. It's too much. High maintenance. I'm not...
I'm not gonna lie, I feel left out a little, like... Because I'm trying to grow my domestic skills, and like I also love giving like a homemade gift if someone has me over. Like the idea of being able to Barrett
is like, so good at like giving them away,
sourdough.
And they taste so good.
But yeah, the starter is what has ultimately kept me away from the craze, because it seems gross and weird, and
it's alive.
Everyone's like, I have to feed it. I'm like, why do you have this disgusting little jar on your counter? I don't know. There's just something about it that I'm like, I don't think I have the wherewithal to like maintain my starter. And it just weirds me out. But I think someday I would like to get into it.
Yeah. I mean, I will receive what anyone ever wants to bake me, and I will eat it for sure with butter on it. But I like...
They say it's good for gut health or whatever.
Yeah.
If someone can tell me bread is good for me, I'm all ears. I'm all ears.
Exactly. Warm it up, put some butter on it, dip it in something. So
seriously.
Yeah. So...
Well, that was another good round of White Elephant. And this was another great chat.
It was.
It got me in the mood to tap into the monoculture and see what the people are talking about.
Got some good show recs, and
yeah.
We'll see what's next when we all become one. like, pop culture
Gifties,
front.
if you have any show recommendations for us, please DM. I'm always looking for my next
rec.
Yeah,
for sure.
And
where can the gifties find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Copacabana. The O is a 0. And Sarah, what about you?
I'm Sarah.
Yes. Yep. And seriously, guys, you can send us
opening
taglines, show recommendations, feedback. We were thinking of maybe having like occasionally having gifty-grams where we like read what you send in. You could ask us for advice. It may not be answered within the calendar year, but we'll get to it eventually. But if anyone wants to send us a gifty-gram, we will happily read your thoughts and your feedback.
Totally.
And you can get early episodes on the Seek Replay app. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify and beyond. Podcasts. And don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, follow, whatever it is.
And never forget.
The Gifty Gang is growing every day. And we need you guys to make yourselves heard. So
yeah. Well, never forget.
Life is a gift, so receive it.